The Bears have finally cut Nate Davis in a move that's long overdue, plus a very concerning report from a top NFL insider regarding the firing of Shane Waldron. We'll dive into all of that coming up on Bears Now. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here every day for more Bears coverage. I'm Harrison Graham. Today's episode of Bears Now is presented by Roan. Upgrade your wardrobe today with Roan, 20% off with code CHATSPORTS. All right, Nate Davis finally cut in an obvious move. Anyone with a brain would have done this weeks ago, or at least the second after the trade deadline ended, but at least they've done it now. What a mess. I mean, what a mess. Long overdue from Ryan Poles, the staff, whoever you want to pin it on. It just didn't work out. And look, I'm not going to put the failure of the signing completely on Poles. Nate Davis has to carry some weight here, but there's no doubt this was a failure. I mean, you look at his stint. He signs a 3-year, $30 million deal, which at the time is high-level starting guard money. Suffered the family tragedy, which is why I kind of gave him a pass for last year. Listen, if parent dies, sibling, whatever, like that's tough. Like I came into this season open-minded that he could get back to being a starting-level guard. He did not. He missed most of the offseason program. He missed most of training camp with, these little like injuries that you didn't even know if they were real or not. And then we saw this past week, clearly the Bears made up that back injury on Sunday and sent him home, and then they cut him today. Just a complete whiff of a signing, which happens, but you still have to take ownership of that. This is the most money you've invested into an offensive lineman since you've been here, if you're Ryan Poles. And not only did he not play as well as he did in the place before, he basically didn't play at all. I mean, really, really poor how this all played out. And it's long overdue to get him out of the building. Not sure why today is the day they decided to do that, but ultimately that is what happened. What is your one-word reaction to Nate Davis getting cut? Let me know. One word that comes to mind down in the comments section below. For me, it's just finally. I mean, get this guy out of the building. He doesn't want to play football. And listen, I don't blame him if after the family tragedy, his heart just wasn't in it anymore. But to keep him on the team and for him to just take a roster spot and not even be an available backup, it's just not a way you can operate as a football team. So it's way long overdue. I get they tried to trade him, but they should have cut him the second the trade deadline ended. And look, Ryan Poles deserves criticism here. He has not done a good job in building this offensive line. I get it. It's not his fault. Nate Davis just decided he didn't want to play football anymore. He wasn't as good anymore, whatever the case may be. So be it. And yeah, he spent the number 10 overall pick on Darnell Wright. But outside of that, what investment has he put into this offensive line? He continues to try to band-aid the center position. It's been a mess. Matt Pryor is having to start at guard because you don't have another option. Tevin Jenkins has probably been your best offensive lineman the last couple of years, although he gets hurt all the time. That's not a player he brought in here. Ryan Pace drafted him. Braxton Jones, good find at left tackle. I will give him that, but is he a high-level long-term solution? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not saying it's all his fault, but more investment clearly has to be made there than has been made up to this point in time. All right, coming up, this report from a top NFL insider that we heard last night, if it is true, I don't know how you could get more concerned than you already are, but somehow I am more concerned. Stay tuned. It's a doozy. You're not going to want to miss it. But first, we got to tell you about our sponsor. That is Roan. Rocking one of their commuter polos today. The commuter collection is awesome because it's got you fitted for every single season, every single occasion. Fall is here, which means you want to rock with layers, right? And listen, I struggle once you get into the fall, into the winter, because I'm a bigger guy. Sometimes I get hot inside buildings, but that's where Roan comes into play with their awesome different layering options with their blazers, their very comfortable pants, their polos, their button downs. You have different combinations that you can work with. That way, if you get inside and some of these buildings decide to crank the heat, well, take some of those those layers off, you're going to be plenty comfortable. Roan's got you fitted for every occasion. You need to be fitted up with the suit for a wedding, funeral, whatever. Throw on one of their blazers, one of their button-downs. They're very comfortable and nice pants. You're good to go. Want to go play a round of golf? Throw on one of their short-sleeve polos. Rock some of their shorts as well. They're going to get you fitted for every occasion, and it's effortless, and it's comfortable with their wrinkle-free technology in their clothing products as well. Get 20% off with code ChatSports at roan.com/chatsports. That's RHONE.com/chatsports. 20% off with the code ChatSports. It's all available for you guys in the comments and description of this video. Check out Roan today. All right. Some new details have emerged from NFL insider Tom Pelissero, who, outside of Schefter and Rappaport, I would say he's probably number 3. Him or Albert Breer. Like, he's very tapped in. And he went on the Rich Eisen Show yesterday and basically said Matt Eberflus did not want to fire Shane Waldron. Here's what he said. My understanding, as of last night, which would have been Monday night, he was on the Rich Eisen Show yesterday, was that the plan was going to be Waldron would stay. They'd potentially move him upstairs, change some things operationally, but that he was going to remain the offensive coordinator. But Shane Waldron got called in by Matt Eberflus around 7:30 Central this morning, talking about Tuesday morning, and was told they were indeed going to make a change. They had a staff meeting at 8 a.m. Everybody found out that it was going to be Thomas Brown taking over as the offensive coordinator. This is just more proof that Matt Eberflus has no idea what he's doing. He has no conviction in decisions that he's making. I mean, firing Shane Waldron only is already a half measure for the franchise. Keeping him and just moving him to the booth, that would have been like a tenth a measure. And that's what he wanted to do, it sounded like. Like, Matt, use your eyes. The offense has completely tanked. You're wasting games with this rookie quarterback. The communication with Waldron and Caleb clearly is not there. You cannot keep this guy. Now, again, I blame the Bears, the higher-ups, for even allowing Matt Eberflus to continue to be in charge as the head coach. But still, what is he doing? How dumb does he have to be? Like, hey, Matt, we're not going to fire you, but you got to make a change. Let's put him in the booth. What? What are you talking about? Get him out of the building. So what happened here? Eberflus either needed more than a day, which, remember, they played on Sunday. The game ended at 3 o'clock. You had the rest of that day, all of Monday. Remember Monday at noon when he had his press conference, he said, yeah, we're just not ready to make any specific decision yet. It's like it's already been 24 hours at that point. And he didn't decide until either late Monday night or when he woke up Monday morning to make an obvious decision. Hey, this offense isn't working. You got to make a change. You got to get someone out. Or two, he wasn't going to make that decision, and Ryan Poles and or Kevin Warren was like, Matt, you have to fire him. In other words, he had to get babied into it. The point is, regardless of whichever scenario happened, because to me it's only one of those two, he's not a leader. He doesn't have conviction in his decisions. If you're second-guessing yourself all the time, this is what happened late in the Nagy tenure. He was second-guessing himself on everything. You're not going to perform. You're not good enough. And yeah, we all make decisions in life and look back and like, I wish I could do that differently. But if you're a leader of a football team, you have to stand firm in that decision. It doesn't mean you can't take time to make a decision, but how much time do you need after that third straight putrid performance, after 23 straight offensive drives without a touchdown? How much time, how much review do you actually need to make that decision? It was obvious. The whole world knew what you had to do, although some of us said the head coach himself should be fired, which I stand by. But Matt Eberflus was going to move Shane Waldron to the booth? That was going to fix the offense? What? That's beyond concerning. That's you don't know what you're doing, which I think we've all known for a while now, which is why you have to question the higher-ups, McCaskey, Poles, Kevin Warren, whoever's making these decisions and not allowing this head coach to be fired. It's unacceptable. He's not a capable leader, period. End of story. Like, that's just the, intangible stuff. The tangible stuff, the on-field evidence is putrid. It'd be one thing if it was like, this guy, he's above 500. We've dealt with a lot here, but he's won his fair share of games. He's still learning, evolving into his role as being a head coach. Like, no, he sucks at, the communication skills, the leadership skills. He doesn't win. He's had 8 coaches underneath him fired. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I can't wait. And this, again, this sounds harsh, and I don't like saying this, but I can't wait to get hit with the notification that they have fired this head coach. And not because I don't like the guy, not because he's not a good defensive mind, because he's clearly not an NFL head coach. It's okay to say it. He will be fine, and people every once in a while, he has a family. I know. They know what they're signing up for. He's got millions and millions of dollars. He will land on his feet as a defensive coach in this league, probably a defensive coordinator. I think he's a pretty good defensive coordinator. He might be a little overrated in that regard too, but he's clearly a top 32 defensive coordinator. It's got to end. It's got to end. And that's why part of me is like, I hope the Packers embarrass the Bears Sunday. I won't be rooting for that, but a small part of me hopes that happens because maybe that'll be the ammunition that puts this thing over the finish line. If you're with me and you want him fired, spam Fireflus in the comments down below. We'll see you guys later this afternoon.